So whoever put that together did an amazing job. So it made me look a lot better than I really was. Well, but it's such an honor to be up here tonight. I say just knowing by me being up here, I say I'm representing more than myself. I say representing my family. I say representing my teammates. I say a lot of them from that championship game. I say, but representing all the coaches that coached me over the years. Like I say, I know I wouldn't be up here without them. But I want to thank the selection committee. I say for blessing me with this prestigious honor. Like I said, especially when I think about all the great players that have come before me and the great players that are already in the Hall of Honor. Like I said, you have Earl Campbell's here. I say you have Ricky Williams. I say you have your Vince not yet, but I say you got Roy Williams, Quentin Jammer. I say guys like that, and I mean just to know that my name will be mentioned with some of the greatest players to ever play the game. Like I said, it's truly humbling, and like I said, I just know how blessed I was. Like I said, just play on a great team with a bunch of great players. And next, I also want to say, like I said, thank my teammates from the 2005 championship team. Let's say, because obviously, without y'all, like I said, a lot of those highlights I had, like I said, wouldn't have been there. Like I said, and that was definitely a team effort. Like I said, we couldn't do it without each other. Next, let me see. I had it all planned out in my head, but I wanted to write some on paper, but I was like, yeah, I'll just go up here, wing it, say be all right. Say, wife told me to plan something. I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'll be okay. No, but next I just want to, say congratulations to, the rest of my fellow inductees. Like I said, it feels good to be going in with such a great class. Like I said, such great athletes, and like I said, such great, people. Like I said, we're talking in a hall. Like I said, the first time I met a lot of them, but, so you can tell that, so they were great people. I know, a lot of inductees when they first got the phone call, like I said, they, tell their loved ones, tell whoever's closest to them, like I said, about the news that they got in the hall. So I guess mine was a little different. I say when I first got the phone call, I say the first thing I did was call John Bianco. I say, John was the SID, for Texas while I was here. So I've been here, I think, 23 years or so. Like I said, I've known him, I guess, about 15 years now, but I had an important question about the hall. Like I said, so before I told my wife, before I told mom and dad, I had to call John. I was like, so John, do I have to give a speech? He's like, yeah, you have to give a speech. I was like, so about how long does it need to be? I say, so most people that know me, I say, no, I don't really say too much. I'm pretty quiet. I said, if you ever need somebody to, sit there and be quiet and listen while you vent, like I said, I think I'm your guy, Definitely, I got that down. So, but no, I called John, told him the news, and said, do I have to give a speech? And how long does it be? He said, yeah, you got to give a speech. I said, but it's not too bad. I said, probably about 5 minutes. I was like, man, what am I going to talk about for 5 minutes? He told me, just thank some of your teammates. I said, thank your family, and I said, thank some coaches, and tell a quick story, and you should be fine. I was like, okay. Tell a story, thank, my teammates, thank my loved ones, like, so what do I do with the other 4 minutes? Like, say, what am I, sit up here and sing a song? But I started by, thanking John. Like I said, he was, met him, I said, 15 years ago, and I said he was the first guy that kind of welcomed me with open arms and said always treated me like family, and said, like, welcomed me into his family, and I said treated my family like his family. So I just want to say I thank you for that. I said, next I'll take Coach Akers' advice and thank my beautiful wife. I said, thank my best friend. I said, because obviously, if she wasn't there, our household would be a mess, I said, especially between me and my daughter. Like I said, we bicker, we fight like siblings. It's supposed to be father-daughter, but, I'm an only child, so I have to take my frustrations out on her. So I just want to thank my wife, I said, for putting up with me. Next, I had a speech I had to give probably a couple months ago. I say, I was a little nervous, so I had wrote out this long speech, and I was planning on it being the best speech of my life. So, I wrote it out, had it memorized, and, the day the speech got here, I was like, yeah, I don't need this sheet. Like I said, I got it memorized, I got it down. So I go up there, I give the speech, and you say, I feel like it's the best speech of my life. So, I go sit down, my best friend was at the table, so I lean over to him, I was like, how'd I do? I think I did a great job. He's like, yeah, I think you did a good job, but you forgot to thank 2 people. I was like, man, I thought I killed it. Who did I forget? It was like, you forgot your mom and dad. I was like, oh, that's not good. So I take this time, thank my mom, thank my dad. I said, just for always being there for me. I said, raising me to be the man I am today. I said, obviously I wouldn't be up here without y'all, and I said, thank y'all for that. So yeah, hopefully I can show Maddie the love that y'all showed me. And so y'all showed me how to raise a little one. I said, with unconditional love. Sometimes it was tough love, but I'm sure it's what I needed at the time. But I guess speaking of Maddie, she's over there. Boy, she's 3, so it's, attention span is a little low. So Maddie, Daddy loves you. See, no boys until you're 50. Maybe 40 if I'm feeling good. All right, next, I want to thank, 2 of the most influential coaches of my career. I said that I met after I stepped foot on the 40 acres. I say, here comes a quick story, John. He told me to throw a quick story in there, but it's about, Coach Mac Brown, I say, and Coach Dwayne Akina. I said those were the 2 most influential coaches of my career. And like I said, growing up, I was a track guy. I said track was my first love. That's what I thought I wanted to do with my life. Like I said, I started running track when I was probably 5. Like I said, every summer just running track. So I thought I was going to run through high school and, like I said, dominate everybody in high school. And, like I said, go to college, run for a couple years in college, and then turn pro. So, and then go run the Olympics, just travel the world, running around in my little tights and my little skimpy clothes. I thought that was going to be it. That was my dream. But obviously, when Texas offers you a football scholarship, I mean, you don't think twice. Let's say it's a no-brainer. So even when I first got to Texas, I kind of still had the track mentality. Let's say. So I was the guy that would get to the locker room 15, 20 minutes early. I say lay out my clothes. I say make sure my shoes were clean. I had to make sure I had the right socks. Make sure I had my little swag rag. So you got a swag rag. It's like we had a long, take a long towel and so you just cut up long ways. And so you just like put it in the back of your pants. So that way, you run around in practice, it's dangling, it's kind of drifting in the wind. It makes you look a lot faster than you really are. So, I had to look good. I had to make sure, like I say, I looked the part. So first couple days of practice, I'm out there running around with my swag rag, looking clean, and say, make a couple interceptions. And then when it comes to the, 9-on-7, the inside run, the team drills, I said, I didn't want no parts of it. Like I said, I was a track guy. Like I said, I don't want to hit anybody. I said, that's supposed to be for the D-line, linebackers. So you had Derrick Johnson out there running around making all the tackles. I was like, y'all don't need me down there. I'll just sit back here, look good, get interceptions. So, did that for the first couple of days. And then one day during practice, let's say Coach Brown came up to me and told me, I need to see you in my office after practice. I was like, oh, okay, might be good, might be bad. I don't know yet. So as practice went on, I got a little nervous. I started asking other teammates. I was like, did Coach Brown want to see you after practice? They're like, no, not me. So I go to another group. I was like, did Coach Brown want to see you? I was like, no. I was like, yeah, this isn't looking too good. So I go to his office after practice. Let's say, and I see Coach Akina kind of sitting in the office. So I was like, yeah, if Coach Akina's there, and he's my DB coach. If Coach Akina's there, like, yeah, it's definitely isn't good. So I go tell, Coach Brown, and so he looks at me. He's like, son, if you ever want to play here, you got to hit. I said, I hear Coach Akina in the background, like, you got to strike. I was like, what? So it caught me off guard. I didn't know what to say, so I just sat there. And then Coach Akina was like, you got to tackle. You got to get people on the ground. And Coach Akina again, with violence. I was like, oh. So all my DBs back there know Coach Akina. Like I said, he's the best guy ever. But like I said, I really still didn't know what to say. Like I said, I was kind of sitting there quiet and stunned. So Coach Brown looked at me. He's like, you do want to play football here, right? I said, you do want to, play football for the University of Texas. I started thinking about stuff. I'm like, I wonder if it's too late. Let's say, call Bubba Thornton, see if we can switch this football scholarship to a track scholarship, and then make everybody happy. And it was like, yeah, no, it's probably not going to work. And I started thinking about what my dad would say. He was like, son, like, don't mess up that scholarship. Like, you better not come home without that degree. So that's, one of the things I loved about my dad is, he didn't care if I played one snap. And so he didn't play if I made one tackle. I said, all he cared about was me getting my degree. Because he just knew how important it was for me for the future. And I said, obviously, I was a 18, 19-year-old kid going off to college for the first time, just getting away. I said, getting my degree was in the back of my mind. I said, I thought I was going to go to college. I said, meet my future wife. I said, have my future daughter. Like I said, just go turn pro and I said, just have fun. So obviously the degree wasn't first thing in my mind, but my dad he always kept me focused. And said, always let me know what was number one. And said, let me know what was most important. So I thought about that. I was like, yeah, Coach Brown. I said, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I said, I'll do what it takes to be the best defensive back I can be. I'll earn my scholarship. So he's like, okay, we'll start tomorrow. So I'm walking out of the office and saying, Coach Keener, he's like, why don't you come to practice 20, 30 minutes early? I said, so I can introduce you to this drill. It's called the pit. I was like, oh, okay. I say, I get in the locker room early anyway. Like I say, just to fix my swag. And he said, get right, so it's no problem. So I was like, okay. I say, little did I know that, this little drill called the pit would be, let me see how I phrase this. It would probably be the thing that saved my career. It was the best drill for me, but it's the drill that I still hate to this day. I think it should be banned for life. I'll just put that out there now. So, I get to practice early the next day. Like I go through the gate. And then I look on the far end, and all I see is it's a high jump mat, no bars, no nothing. It's a Coach Akina, and then it's three, walk-ons, hold footballs. So, 3 ball carriers. I was like, yeah, this can't be good. So I jog to the end of the field and say, Coach Akina told me I'm going to demonstrate the drill. I was like, okay. So he puts the, ball carrier in front of the high jump mat, and Coach Keener goes probably about 4 or 5 yards away. And then he's, he has a nice little tempo, half speed. So he form tackles the ball carrier onto the mat. I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. Nice little easy tempo. I said, work on my fundamentals, work on my tackling, get my technique down. I was like, okay, I'm good. So I go line up. I say, I have my mouthpiece in my helmet, like it's stuck in the face mask. So I line up, I'm ready to go. Coach Keener leans over to me. He's like, I think you might want to put your mouthpiece in. And I put it in. I didn't think anything. I said, at that moment, I should have known something was about to happen. So I line up. Coach Keener says, say a hit. And then I tell you, this ball carrier ran full speed at me. He runs me slap over. I'm talking about one of those not top 10 slow motion. My arms were flailing, legs in the air. I feel like he stepped on my chest. I think he kicked dirt on me, spit on me as he was going. But it's probably the hardest I've ever been hit in my life. And I'm laying there on the ground, see Coach Akina. I was like, yeah, I don't think he got the gist of the drill. I don't think he got the tempo. And he was like, yeah, that's the tempo. I said, your job is to get him on the mat with violence, full speed. I was like, oh, help me, God. This will be a long day. So I get up, say, go again, say, get run over again. Say, third time, get run over again. Fourth, fifth time. And then finally, I get him on the mat. I don't think it was the best technique in the world, but somehow I got him on the mat. And Coach Keener tells me, go take a break, get some water. I was like, okay, thank God it's over. So I go get some water and come back. He said, now we're going to work on ankle tackling. I was like, oh, help me, baby Jesus. I was like, oh. So it goes, I'm in front, and he's on the right side. It's ankle tackling. I'm still getting run over, still getting beat up. And so you finally get him on the mat. They ankle tackling from the left side. So ankle tackling, still run over, getting beat up, finally get him on the mat. And then, but the one thing I can say about Coach Akina is he always knew my limits. Like I say, he always knew how to push the right buttons to get the most out of me. Because obviously without him, I said I would have always been just a pretty little track guy. I didn't want to hit anybody. But he took me down to the pit. Like I say, he made me a man. Like I said, toughened me up. And like I said, he showed me that, like I say, I needed to be able to hit. Like I said, if I wanted to play at the next level, I couldn't just be like a little pretty guy that sit around and get picked. So I thank Coach Akina for everything he's done for me, and I wouldn't be up here without him. So I want to thank Coach Akina. I want to thank Coach Brown again just for giving me the opportunity. Like I said, being a skinny little track guy coming out of college, I said Hardy McCrary recruited me and said he saw something in me. So I thank Hardy too. But last but not least, I want to thank the 2005 national championship team again. I say that's something that nobody can ever take from us. I say we'll always have that season, we'll always have those memories. I said no matter when we're 30, 40, 50 years down the line, I say we'll always have that game and talk about it and cherish those memories. So I want to thank the selection committee again. I want to thank my teammates, thank everybody, and have a good night.